मैम ये लाइकली जब आप स्क्रीन शेयर करती हैं ना तो मैम तब सिग्नल ज्यादा ड्रॉप होते हैं.
So I think I shouldn't be sharing screen. Do you have this lecture is with you? So Ali really wants me to
No,
not to go into that lecture today, huh?
it's not like that, ma'am.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so what should we do now? Today we had a terrible day as far as internet, so this was the first time. Yes. Okay, now let me just try one more time, and if it happens that way, I'll stop sharing my screen. Okay? Okay, now the risk is basically that we have already seen that it's a 2 by 2 table, and A plus B, they are the exposed one and unexposed, they are C plus D. So I was just asking you that can you give me any example for this exposure or non-exposed or unexposed?
मैम ये जब हम ट्रू पॉजिटिव
Anyone of
टू
you?
नेगेटिव टेस्ट मैम जब हम टू पॉजिटिव और टू नेगेटिव वो टेस्ट देखते हैं, सेंसिटिविटी या स्पेसिफिसिटी देखते हैं किसी डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट की, तो मैम उसमें भी तो हम यही टेबल यूज करते हैं जिसमें हम टू पॉजिटिव्स
Absolutely,
देखते
it
हैं,
is going to
टू नेगेटिव.
yes, absolutely, it is going to be used everywhere in your biostatistics also. So I'm just asking you that give me some example. Right, that in sensitivity we'll definitely the true positives and negatives and all that. So again, it is now unstable.
Smoking is example of exposure.
G Mubin, G, please give me any example. Yes, you are right.
Yes, ma'am.
मैम
Please,
कोविड
please.
की एग्जांपल दे सकते
Yes, in terms of what? COVID की example दें अली.
हैं
कैसे
मैम जो
आप दें?
एक्सपोज्ड हैं.
ठीक है.
Exposed versus unexposed people.
Exposed versus non-exposed, or we can always say that okay, doctors who are working in COVID isolation wards, how many of them they develop, COVID, and how many of them they did not develop. So if generally on the top for the columns we take outcomes. So if we just cover our 2 by 2 table today, so that will make our day, at least we'll be able to do something. So outcome is generally taken in the columns, positive and negative. So this A and B, they are basically the exposed row. They are exposed, and this C and C plus D, they are basically unexposed or non-exposed, whatever you want to call it. So A plus B is written here, and then C plus D is written here. Right? Now, let me just give you the most common or simplest example. Say, for example, if we take smokers here, smoking, say, for example, if it's an exposure. Claire, can you hear me?
यस मैम.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good enough. So, if smoking is an exposure, so what we will do that here we are going to write down all those who are smokers, and here all those who are non-smokers. Right? So that is this is what we mean by exposure. And outcome you can always take as CA lung. This might be cardiovascular diseases. That smokers who develop cardiovascular diseases and those who do not develop arthritis, C esophagus, any of the outcome that you are interested to study. So till the time we are not really clear that how can we establish or how can we say that this thing is better as compared to this, or this thing is responsible for causing this particular disease, till the time we have not established association. So how do we calculate associations? We calculate associations by making a 2 by 2 table.
2 by 2
And this
table.
2 by 2 table. And how do we make that? This we have seen that we need to make 2 columns and 2 rows. So the exposure status is written on one side and the outcome status is written on the other side. And we also call it as contingency table. Now, contingency table is that whenever we fill these cells are this A, B, C, and D. Whenever we fill these cells with appropriate frequency numbers, right? whenever they are filled, say for example, if you have taken 100 smokers in your research, like if this A plus B are 100 smokers and they are 100 non-smokers. Now, if we just see that out of all these smokers, how many of them they developed cardiovascular disease? Say, for example, if 30 they develop cardiovascular disease. So, what we are doing now, we are filling these cells with the appropriate frequency numbers. So, we call it as contingency numbers or frequency table numbers. So, similarly, for this non-exposed row, if we had 100 non-smokers, out of these, say, for example, if 10 of the non-smokers also, they develop cardiovascular diseases and 90 are the ones, they are just supposed figures that I am writing. So the first thing that we all do is that we try to fill these cells with appropriate frequency numbers. So that's why we also call it as contingency table, four-fold table, because every, now what is this A now? This A or these
is
uh,
is those
30 individuals, yes, 30 individuals are all those who were smokers and they developed the disease also.
They have developed that disease.
Very good. And they develop also. And B are all those, although they were exposed, but they did not develop cardiovascular disease. Right?
Yes.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
T are all those who, although they were non-smokers, but they did develop this outcome. Right? Because we know that smoking is the only cause for cardiovascular disease. There are multiple other causes which are responsible for causing that disease. So yet, although they were non-smokers, but still they developed cardiovascular disease. And we are all those who were non-exposed and neither they developed the disease also. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if we just say A plus
plus C.
C are all those who are diseased. So we call it as diseased column. So just look at the top positive outcome. They are all who are diseased. The way we said that A plus B are all those who are exposed. C plus D are all those who are non-exposed. So similarly, A plus C are all those who are diseased, and C plus D, C plus D are all those who are
Non-disease.
or those who are healthy. Sorry, there's a little messy.
Sorry, ma'am, B plus D. Okay.
Plus D.
Sorry,
B plus
sorry,
D.
B plus D. Sorry, this is
B
B
plus
plus D.
B plus
A
D.
plus C are all those who are diseased, and B plus D are all those who are healthy,
Non-disease.
non-healthy, or they are healthy, or healthy or non-diseased, or without that particular event or outcome. Clear so far? Now we are just trying to arrive at that particular. जी जी.
इस टेबल से भी तो हम मैम मॉर्बिडिटी मेजरमेंट्स कर सकते हैं.
बिल्कुल, एब्सोल्युटली हम इसको करेंगे और अभी मैं बताऊंगी आपको कि इसको हम कैसे कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? एंड लेट मी जस्ट टेक, आप बताइए नी इफ यू वांट टू शेयर कैसे कर सकते हैं मॉर्बिडिटी मेजर.
मैम मैं तो बस वो देख रहा था कि फिगर्स हैं, मुझे just click किया.
You're so right that we can, and I thought you want to share you want to give some input, so that's why I said that you give me your input. Yes, we do.
मैम क्योंकि हमारे पास डिजीज पॉपुलेशन भी है और नॉन डिजीज पॉपुलेशन भी है और टोटल पॉपुलेशन भी है. तो मैम इससे मैंने गेस किया कि हम अपने जो है वो इंसिडेंट्स जो है वो मेजर कर सकते हैं.
Absolutely, we will calculate incidence. Now here the catch is that how is this is going to be different from the routine incidence or from the routine absolute risk or the risk that generally we say. This is what we are going to see, that how is it going to be different, why this 2x2 table is so important for the calculation of these associations, right? Now let me just take you, now this we have already covered that they are diseased, and this is the exposure that is written on the left hand side for the rows, everyone. And here generally we write down N. N is the total population number that we write down here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, this is your total number. We just write down n is equal to a plus c plus b plus d. Now, this all total is written on this side. So, if we add a plus b or c plus d, we should be getting the same number that we should get by adding a plus c with b plus d. So this means that the total population is captured in your 2 by 2 table. Now, incidence of a disease is generally, whenever we calculate incidence of a disease in a certain population, we call it as absolute risk. So, absolute risk, it tells us that what is the magnitude of the risk in a particular group that has a certain exposure, isn't it? Because whenever we calculate incidence, what is the catch? That the population that we are taking in the denominator. Do you remember? We said that they all should have that risk of developing the disease. Do you remember that when we talked about incidence?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Prerequisite for the calculation was, and we tried hard to take out at-risk population by removing all those who might have developed disease before or those who might have been vaccinated for that particular disease, because we said that our agenda is to take all the population that has the vulnerability or that has the risk for developing the disease. Right? Now, coming here again, now this is very important point that we should be knowing, but it does not take into consideration what is that the catch in this statement is that it is not telling us that what is the risk or what is the probability or the chance of developing the disease in non-exposed population or non-risk population. This means that those who are not having the risk for developing that particular disease, because you know that if we are non-smokers, so does this mean that we can never develop CA lung?
No, ma'am.
Yes, because see, there are so many. There are multifactorial diseases. There are multiple risks behind causing those diseases. So if we are not having one particular risk factor, but yes, we need to advocate this thing to our patients. Now, whenever you will ask any of the smoker to quit smoking, so what that patient might or what that person might ask you, okay, Ji, probably I've shared this example and it's written in the books also, that they might ask you that, gee, we had our, grandparents and they or parents, they were like chain smokers and they never had cough. So how can you say that this particular disease of mine is caused by this particular risk factor of having smoking? So then what we should tell them? How we can tell them that yes, everyone has the risk for developing this particular disease, whether somebody is a smoker or a non-smoker, but you have more risk. So how to find that more risk or additional risk for developing that particular disease? Now, that added risk or additional risk, how can we calculate? Till the time we don't really compare that if this much risk is, or this much is the incidence of the disease among those who have the risk as compared to the the risk as compared to the incidence of the disease among those who don't have that risk. Till the time we won't make that comparison, we won't be able to advocate that. Did you get that point? See, now if
Yes,
somebody, okay, now see, they might ask you that, okay, now what if I might not be smoking? So then what could be the risk of mine being developing this CA lung or the risk of dying due to CA lung? So then how would we communicate that or how would we advocate that? Yes, everyone has the risk of dying due to CA lung or everyone has the risk of developing CA lung, but you being a smoker carries more risk as compared to a person who is a non-smoker. Now, how to get? So in epidemiology or in mathematics, I would say, whenever we have to calculate an added number or an added risk, or whenever we have to say that somebody has more as compared to the other one, so which mathematical operations generally we perform to get that number?
Risk wala incidence.
Mathematical operations.
ma'am, can you repeat? Sorry, no.
See, whenever should be, we have to see that somebody has more anything. Say, for example, I can see Kiran and Mariam, they are coming in my list. If I say that Mariam has got 100 chocolates and Kiran has 25 chocolates, so this is quite a manageable number. So if you have to say that, how would we say that Mariam has more as compared to Kiran?
75.
जी should be.
मैम मेजर्स ऑफ एसोसिएशन अप्लाई करेंगे मैम इसमें, मतलब उनको कंपेयर करेंगे ना।
नहीं, थोड़ा सा उससे पहले
किस
आ
रेशो से
जाए अगर अभी।
both people
I'm
have
just asking very simple
carrying
question
the
that
chocolate
whenever
number?
we have to see that
Ratio भी हो
somebody has
सकती है,
more
percentage
as
भी कर
compared to
सकते
the
हैं।
other one. Should be, did you get my question? If Mariam has 100 chocolates and Kiran,
Ma'am, I can't hear you again.
मैम आवाज नहीं आ रही।
इंसिडेंट्स नहीं देखेंगे, मेजर ऑफ रिस्क।
मुझे इंसिडेंसेस में हम देख कैसे सकते हैं, मुझे तो ये नहीं समझ आ रहा। उसमें तो हमने पॉपुलेशन एट रिस्क देखनी है ना। इसमें तो कुछ ऐसे भी लोग थे जो नॉन एक्सपोज थे स्मोकिंग से, तो इससे हम एसोसिएशन से इंसिडेंट्स कैसे कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं?
मतलब जिनको जो बेसिकली दे एक्सपोज्ड है और मतलब
बेसिकली ये जो स्लाइड अभी मैम ने शेयर की हुई है ना, ये एब्सोल्यूट रिस्क है जो हमने पहले मेजर किया था। वो हमने अपने जब हम डिजीज फ्रीक्वेंसी के मेजरमेंट्स कर रहे थे तब हमने मेजर किया था, और उसका मैम डिफरेंस बता रही है कि उसमें हमने एक पॉपुलेशन कंसिडर की थी, उसमें हमने नॉन एक्सपोज्ड लोगों को कंसिडर नहीं किया था। लेकिन क्योंकि इसमें हमारे पास जो है एक्सपोज पॉपुलेशन अलग है, नॉन एक्सपोज अलग है, तो हम एक कंपैरिजन कर सकते हैं दोनों पॉपुलेशंस के दरमियान, तो उससे हम एसोसिएशन एस्टैब्लिश करेंगे।
हाँ, लेकिन उससे हम इंसिडेंट्स का फॉर्मूला तो नहीं लगा सकते ना, मैं ये कह रही।
इसमें जो हम मेजरमेंट्स करेंगे ना, वो जो मैम आगे करवाएंगी उससे आपको थोड़ा क्लियर हो जाएगा, क्योंकि अभी मैम उस कैलकुलेशंस पे आई नहीं है। क्योंकि ये इस टेबल पे जब आप वो a प्लस डिवाइडेड बाय वो करेंगी ना, कैलकुलेशंस के जो फॉर्मूलाज अप्लाई करेंगे, तो उससे आपको आइडिया हो जाएगा कि ये इतने लोगों ने डिजीज डेवलप की और इसके डिनोमिनेटर में ये लोग थे, तो उससे आपका ये इंसिडेंस वाला जो क्वेरी है ये दूर हो जाएगी।
Okay, let's see.